I'm amazing. I'm amazing. I'm amazing. Oh, what the hell? Oh, he killed me.
I'm getting brutally slaughtered.
No, that was an accident. No, that was an accident. That was an accident. Oh, was that a triple collapse? Get up! No! Ah! No! Get up! Get up! No! Oh! No! Why this happened to me? Oh! What did I do? It's an accident. Oh, what? What? Why? Why? What? I hate this game. I freaking hate this game. Oh, I fell. I did the water bucket thing. I did the water bucket thing.
Nice.
Don't touch it. No!
Last Pokemon left, and our full team still with us. The nerves were high, but seeing that it was a Torkoal gave us some relief.
Torkoal. I changed to the wrong guy. Hydro pump the hell out of him. Let's go!
Just like that, we defeated the champion of the Hoenn region in our first ever Pokemon Nuzlocke.
Yeah, it's supposed to show the oh my god. What's up, guys? There we go. Okay, that's better. Wait, and that's the wrong song. I'm so off my game today. What's up? It's Christmas. So that's kind of cool. Only ice Pokemon can be caught or used. Look how many tabs there are. Jesus. I have to fix something. One moment, please. I have to put the thing. I put it before, but it crashed right before stream started. Okay, now we're good. I'm back. This is an excessive amount of TikToks, even for Doctor. Wow. I'm just joking. I'm joking. So what was new? What did you see that was new? Oh yeah, Merry Christmas, guys. Merry Christmas from a fellow Jew. Let me see. The funny thing is, Nathan doesn't show up in the beginning of the streams where we watch all of them. Well, because he's, you know, probably busy or whatever, but still, it's funny. Yes, the thumbnails on the rewards. Very nice. It's cool, right? It took me so long to make, but it's worth it because that stays there, you know what I mean? Or it feels worth it to me. It's worth it, right? I think it's worth it. Okay, there we go. Oh, oopsies. Did not mean to watch. Not only are thumbnails on the rewards, except one, because I couldn't find a thumbnail for that one. But, there's a new reward. Do you know what it is? Dun dun dun. I also changed the color from the behind. But yeah, I hope everyone's Christmas is going well. We have a lot of TikToks to go through, but you know, it is what it is. I'll put the background music. It's not gonna be too loud. What is this? Wait, yeah, you guys could barely hear it. That's good. Let's get on with it. All these TikToks. Honestly, they should be okay. It's okay. What is this?
The fuck?
Wait, what? Hey. I don't want no spoilers.
Mary Jane. Yo, what the fuck?
It's kind of funny. I kind of get it. Whoa. That's photoshopped, right? That must be photoshopped. That looks so good. Gee, oh no, he wasn't peeing. That was a sound effect. What? Ew. Do you think that person did it for the thumbnail? Because Jesus Christ, that was nasty. I would not do that. Nutella.
Mary Jane.
Okay, that was the first TikTok. I'll press wow. If I laugh from any of these TikToks, I will
Hello there.
do something. Can't stay. No worries. Merry Christmas, bro. Thanks for popping in for your points and to say Merry Christmas. See ya, Prince. I figured because of Christmas, some people might have been busy. But you know what? We don't wait around. And I'm Jewish. Oh, yeah. You remember I was supposed to go to my friend's house? Well, one of them got COVID, so it was canceled. So now I'm not there anymore. But, you know, hopefully it works out. Hopefully I can go soon for the Secret Santa. Not exactly Christmas, but I can't stay. Oh, okay. Ooh, you're going out with someone? Nice. Nice. Should be the nice meme or something. I don't know. Oh, I forget audio. That's actually kind of funny. I didn't laugh though. I chuckled. Happy birthday to Peace. Oh, that was bad. That was really dumb. Peace. What? What? That is not real. There's no way that is real. Oh my god, what's wrong with this person? Do you think this actually happened or they edited that? Like his eyes. God damn. Oh, I have to fix the zoom thing now. Because I'm using a different thing now. Oh, it's so hard to be Jewish. What? What are you saying, Ping Pong? Wait, let's see if it works now. Oh. This is what happens when you try to make things fancy for yourself. It just doesn't do that. I have to edit the transform, and then I have to stretch it to bounce, I think. Nope. Okay, that's not what I'm supposed to do. Oh, bro, they're joking with me. It's one of these buttons. One of these buttons will fix everything in life. What? Stretch to bounds. This is what I get for trying to make things like better. Things become worse. Okay, maybe I have to edit the transform here. That's probably what I have to do. I didn't even expect to. There we go. I'm a genius. Yes, I'm a genius. Okay, anyway.
So they could take from his paycheck, is that right?
Well, that's not how I put it.
How would you put it, Benji?
I can't even hear it. This is like the worst sound.
Yeah. Fuck us up.
That was so dumb. That was kind of funny. What did he say?
I live in North Carolina, and I'm afraid of my own feet.
I'm afraid of my own... What? My own feet? What did he say? I do not know what that man said. Whatever.
Damn, I messed up. We gotta go bald,
man. Isn't he already bald?
Have a happy and safe journey home.
I mean, not ooh. That was the wrong. I meant like lol. That was funny. I feel like I did that as a kid.
Jake's cooking off the barbecue.
Dad.
What?
Hot potato.
I live in North Carolina.
Oh. That wasn't as good as I thought it would be. I feel like a lot of those are dumb. The hand sanitizers is gonna helium it. Ooh.
Hey.
Yo, that song's actually when I was in story time. When I was in college, I had to learn that song for music class. And yeah. What did I want to say about that? Oh yeah, I wanted to say that for that class, like you have to go to school. What? You have to for that class. Oh yeah. That song, they used to have like little kids sing that song, and basically like only little kids could because their voice was so high, and there was no button for that. I don't know why I pressed the echo button. Their voice was so high pitched, and I think they used to like cut something in the their throat or something in the mouth to make sure that their voice stayed high. I don't remember. I don't know why I brought this up.
Hey, better, so we.
Okay.
What? That was good transition. I always got confused when door handles come off and people get stuck inside. Can't they just push the door and like not be stuck anymore? I never understood that. That never made sense to me in my life. But you know, okay. Let's see what this is.
Yes, Mark. Oh, thank you so much, Mark.
Mark gives the marker. Ooh, good transition. Damn, this guy makes really good transitions. No wonder. It's so addicting to watch for people. Oh, that's the grandma. Wait, what was so funny about that? I don't get it. Or respect. What? Oh shit! Oh, look at look at the kid. Ow! I almost didn't see that. Not if the piece that goes into the wall. Wait, is still there, just not the knob. Wait, what? Not if the piece that goes into the wall. What piece is going into the wall? You mean into the door? You mean is still there? Oh. But can't you just like break it? Because then you'll just have the other part of the handle on the other side. You could just push it like with your fingers, like with 2 fingers specifically. You just maybe not like that. But I don't know. I guess like the deadbolt. What's a deadbolt? Oh. Oh yeah. I know what this is. Oh, free shipping. It's an anime character. I don't know.
Yes, Mark. Oh,
Wait, didn't we see Mark? I got you though. Putting my socks up.
yes, Mark.
That was funny. Haha.
Okay.
Oh! Oh, bro! That was no. I hate the ones where they show like pain. I don't know how people laugh at that, like laughing at other people's pain. Like only like one. I almost just actually pained myself, not like Naruto pained, but but I never understood that because like, how is it funny to see people just get hurt? It's not funny to me. Did they just kiss? That was kind of. That was actually funny. No, kid, you. Oh, you idiot! Oh, the bigger idiot is the parent. Nah, they just weren't paying attention. It's not their fault.
Oh, let's go.
So stupid. Bro, those skateboard things used to be popular when I was a kid, which means when you guys were like 2 years old. Just kidding.
If you need help, call 800.
That's something I would do as a kid. That's actually funny.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bro, they're in Japan. You could just tell. That's Japan. Sonalise Alola. Welcome. We're watching vids you guys send me. And today it happens to be a lot of TikToks. Fortunately. I didn't even see the first one. Okay. How you doing though? How's your Nuzlocke going? Wait, now I can't hear anything. I'm so dumb.
Whereabouts is the closest bank?
Right around the corner.
Alright, cheers, thank you.
Wait! Wait!
Stupid. Oh, that did not look fun. That was actually funny. Oh, I feel like it's good to watch these like this. Oh god. Zoomed in.
Wait, what the fuck?
This works well.
Sir, whereabouts is the closest bank?
Right around the corner.
We're about
cheers,
the
thank you.
closest bank.
Wait! Wait!
British people. I think they're so funny.
3, 2, 1.
I'm getting used to TikToks, I'm not gonna lie. Jesus. Stupid. Rabbit. I mean, what? We can send you videos and haven't moved from the spot today. Spend some time on my story. Gotcha. I just made this command, so I don't need to say it. But yeah, after we finish the vids sent from last week, we'll be like, you guys could send vids. And if you want to send videos for next week, you could join the Discord and send it. Yeah.
Wait, let me see your hands. Let me see your hands. It's not washing off.
It's not washing off.
It's not washing. It's not washing off.
What's up, Nathan? We're watching your stuff. This one's funny, actually. I thought this was a guy with no head, but he has a head, which is not funny. I understand. Merry Christmas. Yeah, I forgot to say that. Merry Christmas, son, and Nathan. Even though son's not my son. Yesterday was terrible. One of them got COVID, so it was canceled. So we yeah. The good news is the good news is the thing like to put the stuff in came on Amazon. It was supposed to come yesterday. One of them came, the other was delayed. So that's good because I wouldn't have had them for the presents. But yeah. Heike thought you were just talking to Nathan when you said son. Yeah, Nathan's my son. I was about to laugh. I was about to legit pretend laugh with water in my mouth and it splurts out of my nose so you guys can make it a TikTok and we go viral.
Okay. Make sure it's on low.
Jesus. That guy just died?
My foot hit it. Okay, you're fixing to just get out. My foot hit it. Get out of the room.
My foot hit it. I swear to God, if I was the teacher there, I would have laughed. I would have been like, ha, kid, you got to pay for that. You're going to be working overtime. You're going to have to work overtime with me, you know, in my office during office hours. You're going to have to do that, kid. All right? So don't break any more things or you're going to, no, that sounds really weird.
I just bought this new airsoft gun. Look at it. Buddy, crazy. What's this?
That looks like a...
What the fuck?
Never mind. So funny. Anyway.
Look at his eyes. Look at
I don't know why the volume is so low. Is the volume loud enough for you guys? What? I feel like I'm... That's a cool ass grandma. Oh, oops. I probably should you guys, yeah. Sorry if you didn't see that normally. That's a cool grandma. Freaking playing Nerf with her grandson probably. What is this? My grandma wouldn't do that. Is that chocolate Domino's? Bro, I've seen this one.
Now look down, look down.
Look at his eyes. Look at
The first one is funny. There's like a 10% chance it's gonna be funny. That's what we should actually calculate it.
Our table!
That reminds me of a story. Story time. When I was a kid, we got into a car accident. Okay? Wow, I know. And in the car accident, no one really got hurt, but I started crying. And my family was like, oh my God, why are you crying? And I was like, the car. It sounded better in my head, but let's just watch the videos. I just ate a Popeye's biscuit with no drink. I don't know if that's supposed to be impressive. I don't really eat Popeyes, so I'll just put a thumbs up and a wow for that. Great story. Thank you, Lux. Thank you. And wow, Lux is here. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. I just ate with no.
Damn, she's so hot.
Wait, what was so hot?
Hot.
Oh, it's Braille. Oh, that's that's a good one. I get it because he can't see. So the joke is Braille. The joke is she's so hot it wouldn't make sense. But the joke's on him because blind people could still feel hot things. So, yeah. Anyway, Merry Christmas. I just had a regular. I don't really celebrate Christmas. I sometimes do with family. I mean, not with family, with friends. But one of my friends got COVID, so they canceled the party. I was gonna stream it. I wish I had friends to stream with. Lux, come to New York so we could stream together and do other things together. I mean, and stream together. Wow, you too, PP. But I hope you had a good one. Yo, that's a mad nice freaking Bulbasaur. What the hell?
Hello there.
Why don't I have cool emotes? Ugh. And it's all Pokemon. That's so cool. You flying me out? Yeah, I'll fly you out in a few years. Oh yeah, I added that too. The bots talk to you guys now because I'm boring enough, and you guys don't want to talk to me. So I added that yesterday. But anyway,
Damn,
there's other secrets too, which you'll see if you it'll come with time. There's a new reward too. And did you guys notice a new thing? I'm wearing a Santa hat. No, that's not the new thing. I mean, that is a new thing, but that's not the new thing. Are you streaming right now, Lux? Ooh. Fuck you, Streamlabs. That could be a good one too. I'm gonna have to fix it.
Yo, who the fuck?
Oh. I was like, why do I hear Alexa's voice? It's because Nathan shouted you out, so a clip popped up. Yep. Oh my god, so many tuk-tuks. I was confused for a second. I was like, why do I hear Lux? Oh, Jesus, that kid is evil.
4K. Alright, you ready? You want to see something cool?
Did that do what it was supposed to do? Was that a decent reward, guys? Or should I fix it? Oh, you're not streaming? Okay. How was your Christmas? Did you celebrate it with, like, lighting the menorah? That was my new reward, which I might have to fix. Because that was... I think the audio didn't have a chance to go through. Here, I'll show you guys. This is the new reward. God damn it. Here it is. And then it's like caught in 4K and it goes up and down. Do I like all your TikToks? I like 10% of your TikToks, I think. It's not bad. It's not bad. I'm honestly so surprised every time I show up here. That's good. Yeah, I always try to add new stuff. We have a lot of new rewards. What even happened? Oh, okay. Yeah, I definitely have to fix that then. I'm gonna try to fix it right now. In real freaking time, baby. In real time. I'm gonna fix this reward. Okay? So, I would press the Jeopardy button, but that's a lot of work. I'm just gonna fix it. It's supposed to be when I'm caught in 4K. I don't know why it didn't work properly. I'm gonna try to add something to it.
Muscles.
I know why I got muscles. Look at these muscles. This is what you get, Lux, if you work out. This body. Amazing body. Echo ASMR, question mark. Should I do it? Okay, I think I fixed it now. But I guess we'll see. Yeah, I got muscles, bro.
Oh shit!
Look up there.
What the
Monkey
fuck?
do good.
Son,
Monkey
those are
do
really
very good.
Those are really sexy. Not gonna lie. They look mad nice.
Whoa.
Just had Christmas dinner with the fam. Nice. What muscles? Oh my god. Do I have to show everyone my muscles? Look at that. Look at that. I even got the abs. I even got abs, okay? Just because you guys are jealous. Yeah, look at that. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, look at that picture, baby. Yeah. Someone knows how to spell picture. If you want to see the real muscles, they're not. They don't exist. But it's winter, so I don't need muscles. There's no one to show it off to, right? But wait, we already saw this. I'm literally like staring at the same thing. Your tits are bigger than my butt. Well, you got a little butt because you're a little guy. That sounds so bad. Just watch this.
Day, and atin pong gagawin mo.
No. I actually hate seeing cockroaches. That was nasty.
I freaking hate my life. Being a monkey is hard, okay? People don't respect you. People don't understand you. And most of all, people make you watch TikToks. Just let me live my life as a monkey. And give me the respect that I deserve. God damn, this life is
hard. Anyway. No, we got through a lot of TikToks fast already, to be honest.
Wow.
That was actually funny. Wow, indeed. Wait, what's okay? My, the monkey? We're gonna have a happy monkey soon, too. Oh, does that really happen often, where you could just, like, break a tire? That's never happened to me. Is it because I'm skinny and I have abs? Probably not. Wait, we just watched this one, right? Yeah, we just watched this one. That was funny. No. Hey, New York, represent. Wow, he sent me a TikTok with New York in it. Good job.
Agree that tape is probably the best invention ever. I mean, you can tape your door shut.
You can take your woman shut? Is he gonna say?
Wall.
He's gonna say you could tape your... Oh.
You can even tape your phone to the wall.
That's a good one. Like, they're good, but like, bro, they're not like, that's so funny. They're more like, I get a chuckle out of it, you know? Personally. Ooh. That's kind of hot.
No.
Next TikTok. I'm having so much fun. They're okay. They're okay.
You gonna say something? Okay. We're back here again and let you know. I just came to remind y'all.
Oh, I've seen this. Oh! Oh no, I haven't seen that. That sucks. I thought he actually gets into the garbage can. Isn't this what your stream is supposed to be?
Hi.
What? Garbage thrown at you?
Hey.
Oh, that's abuse. That's abuse. This man is touching the frog like in very sexual ways. Okay, I don't know if it's sexual, but
That's right.
Come here. I like that. That was funny. See, there's like 1 out of 10 that are funny. That guy doesn't know how to play bowling. How to play bowling?
Guys, hold up. Stop.
That's New York.
I'm a potato.
Easy. I could do 10 reps of that. That was actually
Robin,
really
tell me
cool.
a joke.
I like that. This set was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. When are more TikToks coming out? January 1st, okay? January 1st, I'm going to most likely be pushing out, well, the plan is to push out daily clips and daily vids on YouTube as well, which should be cool. I was going to delay it because I wanted 1 month of prepped stuff to make daily vids and stuff. But honestly, I think I'm going to go for weekly, like have them at least 1 week in advance. Because I do want to release it January 1st because New Year's, I don't know. So yeah, January 1st. Watch out for them. How's Valorant going, by the way? Your Valorant content is... I honestly don't know how people don't watch more of it. Maybe your thumbnails? No, your thumbnails are pretty good from what I remember. Yeah, I don't know.
What the fuck are these?
Hey, how you doing?
If you
Bro,
need help, call.
we've already seen that. We've already seen this one. You sent it twice? Nathan, you sent it twice? Oh no, there's just repeats.
800.
Damn, this guy got lazy. Respect moments. Don't follow him on TikTok.
Dog, have you been like working out, hitting chest? Your chest looks kind of...
Just a little bit. I mean, I got these.
What? What was that?
I got these.
Wait, what was that? Can I get that?
Just a little bit. I mean.
Whoa. Why is his arm so much darker than... Jesus. Wait, what was that, though? No, stop covering.
Just a little bit. I mean.
Huh? What? What?
I got these.
I'm so confused. Suntan? Wait, he pulled his suntan off? Yeah, it's okay. Just what I enjoy right now. Exposure is tough. Please help YouTube. Need it for Christmas. True. Exposure is tough. It's tough out there. But that's what makes it fun and challenging, I feel. Kind of. I think you have to like probably go to like, I don't know if you already do, but like go to Reddits and try to go into the community of Valorant. And that would probably help a lot. Because there's probably a lot of Valorant content out there. No, that's for the arm? Yeah, for the arm, yeah, I knew that. I was just joking. But for the chest, I have no idea what the hell that was. What? This is so stupid.
I really hate when people tell me, like, oh, your car's not reliable. Bitch, you don't even have a car.
Is that an Android?
Oh. By the way, okay? This is supposed to, I think I fixed it, so I'm gonna redeem it so you guys could see it. I just added this yesterday. I should probably make a bet. I don't know. This is supposed to be when I'm caught in 4K, like when I say something dumb.
Caught in 4K.
You know, and that happens. I think that made more sense now, right? I think I fixed it. Anyway. Haven't been on Reddit in ages, to be fair. Yeah, Reddit, Twitter, maybe even. TikTok. But it's still hard, you know.
Caught in 4K.
I put that on Audacity and I just put my pitch up and it worked very nicely, I think. The thing he pulled off was a wax tape. Oh, Jesus.
Well,
I didn't
guess I'm gonna sew it myself. The heck? Mama! What's going on here?
That's a good one. I feel like it's so funny. I don't know if this is true, but every single cult, like, if I talk to people, Russian people think...
Well, guess I'm gonna sew it myself.
Solve it. He didn't even have the TikTok, like, right. Russian people think that this is a Russian thing, but then I talk to other people and they say, no, it's like a Mexican thing, it's a this thing, it's a that thing. I feel like everyone just keeps, like, sewing stuff or whatever other stuff in their cookie jars. It's just such a good jar. Or not a jar. What do you call that? It's a thing. I don't remember what that's called. Whatever.
Mama!
Biscuit tin. Yeah, biscuit tin. It's never cookies, right? You see, like, everyone in chat is like, it's the same thing for, like, all of us. Jesus, where did I pause? Oh, never mind. Yo, Ping Pong Masters? Yo, name call? Yo, Ping Pong Moosters name call. Let's go. Did you guys see that? Shoo! This is so stupid.
I know I'm Fiona.
Really hate when.
Okay. So many TikTok.
Let's go again.
Why are they so low volume? When do we get to see you play ping pong? When I have friends to play ping pong with.
I'm joking.
I have taken out my paddle before and paddled it, but Jesus Christ. I mean, my big plan with streaming is to eventually move in with people, or at least have people living nearby to stream with a lot, because I feel like I'm better around people. Or like, and it's more fun for me, and probably for you guys. We will play ping pong, exactly. Let's go. Let's go.
Gosh, hey, yo, move if you alive.
Whoa, that was racism. I don't condone that. I never understand what that means. I don't condone that. Does that mean that you think it's good or bad? Condone. Accept and allow. So I don't condone. Oh, okay, so I said it right. Okay. It's always confusing to me. Yes, this one's shorter. I mean, what?
Hey.
They're okay.
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm stroking a dick? What? I'm stroking my beard, bro. You don't see this beard? Copyright for music.
Belly rub. You like that shit?
That's not even his belly.
Yeah, you do.
TikTok's so inaccurate, bro. Pop it. I hope it dies. Cats are terrible. Yes. Good job.
Yum, yum, yum. Hey.
Yum, yum, yum. Yum, yum, yum. Oh my god. I show this to the kids in Japan and they go crazy. Oh. Wait, that actually got me. I did not expect that. That probably got everyone. Look at that. Damn, that's a good one. That's a good one. I like that. Making fun. And this one doesn't even have any music, this tic-tuk. These tic-tuks. Ah. Why are you eating your own foot, you fascist? What is she drinking? Milk? Is that normal? Isn't it like catnip a thing? Bro, I don't know anything about so much things in life. I just don't understand. Oh. Oh. Bro. Wait, was that real? No. Was that real? Or is this like like a WWE style thing? Let's see. His legs are going towards the thing. Oh, no, that's real. That's real. Look at that. Oh, bro. Damn, that's pretty, it's pretty high.
Next day, the motherfucker was dead.
Action.
God. What does it say? Bro, this I think you sent this one before. With this guy.
Girlfriend is 100% my sister.
What?
Now I come a
sister.
little quicker. DNA test turns out my girlfriend is 100% my sister. Now I come a little quicker.
I honestly I hate the ones where it's just someone reacting. It's just so dumb. Like you added nothing to this. Oh, my visit comes to an end. 3 a.m. Okay. Mwah. Thanks for popping in. I hope you have an amazing night, and I'm glad you had a quiet, nice dinner. And we'll play ping pong tomorrow. So off stream obviously, but see you, Lux. Okay.
DNA test.
Next meme.
Excuse me, sir, just fell off.
Bro, what the fuck? That's actually pretty
Excuse
funny.
me, sir, just fell off.
Bro, that's funny. That's funny. Nah, you sent this one. We watched it the other day. I kind of laughed from it. Or did I? I don't remember. I don't remember
the whole time it was you. I've had sandy ass cheeks ever since I was a small lad. Every time I go to wipe, it's only sand and rocks. No poop, only sand and rocks. It was you. It was you.
That's actually a good reaction thing. You see, this reaction thing makes the regular thing better. That seems rare. But... Jesus.
Кто просил перчатку бросить?
Кто просил? That's pretty cool. That's an. Have you guys ever gone axe throwing? Axe throwing is so cool. I've gone before.
You are doing 90 to 5.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Kul khara.
Why are you filming me? Stop running.
Нет, заткнись.
Нет, заткнись.
Oh shit, dead end.
Looks like you're stuck.
Je suis français, je comprends pas.
Prouve que t'es français.
This man literally got in the water for a TikTok. But you know what? I'd probably do the same thing for 600,000 likes, which you guys probably can't see.
Put your hands above the water.
No
probably
say
do that
nada.
without that, actually.
Where's your phone in Danish?
A cop is pulling me over for speeding.
I feel like they're trying to show off their language. What? Are they gonna cosplay? Omae wa mo shindeiru. Wow. Well, oh, wait, what? Let me read it. Huh? That's so hard to see. What? I could have made a messed up joke there, but I decided not to. Oh, I like this song. Yasashita kono ode kotonton? What? Kimi nano kana? Oh, I just realized it's so hard with TikToks because you can't see the first few seconds. That's so cute. Actually, when I was in Japan, everything's about Japan. But when I was in Japan, I met a guy who was stationed in Okinawa training Japanese military, and that was just really cool, I thought. And he was on vacation in Kumamoto. Oh my god, the TikToks are coming to an end.
Beat 'em up, beat 'em up, beat 'em up. Reese's Puffs, Reese's Puffs. Eat 'em up, beat 'em up, beat 'em up, beat 'em up. I got Reese's Puffs in my bowl.
Hell yeah.
Nowadays on cruise control.
Hell yeah.
I got Reese's Puffs in my bowl.
Hell
Just
yeah.
like that, I'm on a roll.
I'm on a Reese's Puffs.
Reese's Puffs, Reese's.
It's so catchy. It's so dumb at the same time.
And my power. Nobody can match my skill and my power.
Oh, damn.
Nobody can match
I'm
my
di-
skill.
Oh, don't you guys hate those? When it's like, I'm dying. No, you're not. If you were dying, you wouldn't put up a TikTok. You would, well, actually, I guess this generation might. I'm muted? I'm not muted. Turn up your volume. Oh, you can't hear the tuk tuk? But shuriken throwing? Oh, you've gone shuriken throwing? That's actually mad cool. I've never gone shuriken throwing. That sounds really fun.
In front of men.
In the fuck are you doing now?
That was good. That was good. I like that. That was actually funny. That was funny. That was unexpected. That's why it was actually funny. I feel is what PP would say. Oh.
First time?
Yeah, you?
No, not my first time. First time?
That's stupid. How many school... Okay, I'm kind of curious now. How many school shootings in 2021? It also depends how they define a school shooting, but still. Jesus. Oh, only 14 people died? That's pretty bad. But obviously any amount of school shootings is bad, but only 14 people died? That's not the worst thing, right? Oxford was the recent one, no? Oh, Newport. Oh, I didn't even know that. And the year's about to end. That's not bad. That's pretty bad. But like statistically speaking, you know? I feel like a lot of things get overblown. Oh, it's another school thing. Pretty slow year though. Oh, that's a very good point too, actually. That's a very good point because of COVID. That's actually a very good point. I didn't even think of that. Look up December 17th. What's December 17th? Hanukkah. I don't know. It said Hanukkah. Oh. I don't know what else. What? December 17th school shooting? New Jersey? Why do I want to look that up? I don't want to give... I read online that, like, it's bad to publicize the names of the people who do the, like, school shootings and stuff. So I don't want to, like, look that up really right now. But I am kind of curious now. School shootings, let's say 2018, right? That's before COVID. So I think that would be better to look at. Okay, yeah, that's pretty bad. 114 people were killed or injured. Oh, 35 people killed. It's not too bad, right? It's not too bad. I feel like it's so not overblown, but I wish people could, like, realize that something is bad and at the same time realize that something is bad, put attention on it, but at the same time realize how real it is. I don't even know if that makes sense, but I think it's in our human nature to not do that. Like, for example, when I got into accidents for Uber Eats, I haven't gone back on Uber Eats. And you know what probability I would get to, like, die, like, riding a bike in New York City? I remember looking this up. I think it was 600,000 people. Let's look it up again. Riding a bike in New York. How many bike riders in New York City? Okay. Nearly 1.6 million New Yorkers are bike riders, with almost half getting on a bike at least several times a month. Okay? So let's assume, just for simplicity's sake, like 3 million people, which is probably underestimate, right? Because several times a month, at least half. Let's say 3 million people are riding a bike per month. Or 3 million, you're riding, like, not 3 million people, but 3 million bike riding times, you know? Then you multiply that by 12, you have what? 36 million, right? How many people die in bike accidents? I should do a bicycle, but bike accidents in New York City. You know? So in 2009, 16 were fatal. Okay? So if you just do quick maths, 16 divided by, what was it, 36 million? I don't know millions. 100,000. You, it's like times 100. You have a 0.0000. I have a 0.00004% chance of dying on a bike if I go biking like twice a month, and yet, like, it's still on my mind, right? That's just how our brains work. It's so interesting. School December 17th threats. Oh yeah, I know about that because my brother went to school and like half the kids weren't there because of the threats, and like schools were like telling parents like, oh, like stay home and stuff, which I think is a good thing, because I think when there's more attention on stuff like that, then there's a possibility for a bigger threat.
No running in the hallways. That is a detention.
It's like this is not a daily occurrence, But
people just for looking at him.
Georgia.
This is so stupid.
Georgia.
I love that song. Georgia.
They say.
Ooh, this TikTok's not as popular. Interesting. Okay, this
He
next
killed
song
17 people just for
taking
looking people
forever.
just.
Last TikTok. Better be the best one. Good TikToks though. Some of them were good. I'm getting used to that. I'm getting okay.
Go to sleep first. Prank him, John. You already know. Go to sleep first. Prank him, John. You already know.
That's actually funny. Okay, that was a good one. Watch your fingers, a booty hole man. What? What? What's going on?
I just want you to know, you ain't get me. I got you. We're done.
Oh, Whoa. Is any of this gonna be TOS? Does he get tased or something? What is this? He probably just tells him, like, watch your fingers, booty man or something.
My safe word is pineapple juice.
What?
You there?
Is this
Put
a
your
joke?
hands behind your back. Palms up. Put your hands behind your back, both hands. It's warm. Stay just like that. Cross your ankles.
Ooh. No one, yes.
Cross your ankles. We gonna take pictures? Stay just like that. You understand me?
Man, he has a taser.
Bring your ankles up to your butt. Swap man, what's my safe word? Bring your ankles up to your butt. That's how far I go. You think I'm in Pilates? Stay just like that.
This has to be a joke. Like the fact that he's responding, like they're giving time for each other to respond. That's for sure a joke.
I'm out of breath.
They're not talking at the same time. Hey. I think that's TOS.
Ooh, oh, that's cute.
Stay just like that.
I'm so confused by this video.
Stick this hand up just like that. Don't move it.
Word. I change it to pieces. How long it took me to acquire those? Don't do drugs, kids. Those are my quarters. You want to put those in your pocket? That is change! You know how long it took me to acquire those? Some of those are limited edition. Well, that's my flash drive. Don't look at it unless you want to see Big D. That's my wallet! You have no... Ooh. And watch your fingers, booty hole man! He's strong.
Watch your fingers, booty hole man. Okay. Demon Slayer in 6 minutes. There's gonna be spoilers, no? Spoiler alert. This is season 1, yeah?
Sponsored by Bokusu. Go to Bokusu.com and enter the promo code TeamForce.
Oh,
this
whoa.
video is sponsored by Bokusu. Go to Bokusu.
That's so weird.
This video is sponsored by Bokusu.
The name of the company is Bokusu. Like, box in Japanese is Hako, I think. Like, I guess you could say Bokusu, but it seems so weird to me.
Go to Bokusu.com and enter the promo code TEAM4STAR10 to get 10% off your first box of delicious snacks straight from Japan.
Susume!
Hey! Name's Tanjiro Kamado, and I have super smell. Related fact, people in 1920s Japan did not wear a lot of deodorant.
Can you smell that?
Gonna pause the music.
Actually, yes. Unfortunate. Oh, hey, Nezuko, you're still alive. Can you help me dig some holes? So my sister's a demon, but I think she's chilled out.
Put that bitch in a box. I'm gonna teach you how to kill demons.
Okay. Can I kill demons yet?
Can you cut this rock?
What?
No.
Then you can't kill demons.
6ヶ月後
Can I kill demons yet?
Can you cut this
later.
rock?
No.
Then you can't kill demons.
Fuck.
坂に6ヶ月後
I give up. But don't though. Okay.
That's so true.
All right, Biggie Smells. There's one last thing to do before you can kill demons.
I love this actually. Whoever made this literally like took this scene in the show, cut him out, and then made it go up and down. I appreciate that.
What's that?
Kill demons.
Okay.
It says the final slide.
Why would you send a child here?
Don't you adore the sound of dying children? It's the only thing that gives me pleasure anymore, dear sister.
I guess the kanji trained me well.
Did you say Sakanji? Because I keep eating his kids. It's funny. You'd think he'd stop sending me kids. He
True.
Concerning I keep eating them. It's like DoorDash, but with children. What the hell?
I could smell where to cut you.
That's fucking stupid.
That is stupid. I feel like his sense of smell is so dumb.
All right, here's a super special sword. It's black.
Does the color mean anything?
Yep.
Oh, so that's all you're gonna.
Go do your job.
Yeah, they don't really tell us what black means. Probably on purpose.
Hello, I'm Tamayo, a demon doctor. This is my fuckboy, assistant, Yushiro. We want to kill the guy who ate your family.
Hold on a second. There are good demons? That changes like everything.
You can't fuck her! She's my mommy!
Whoa, dude.
Fuck you!
Hey! So
Actually I like this. That's why I'm not even talking.
we were told to murder you dicks, and no better way to murder a bunch of dicks than with balls!
And since we're sending you to...
Whoever made this is some good jokes. Some good jokes. Good jokes.
Hell, let us point you in the right direction.
Wait, stop! I get motion sick. Hey, wait! Oh, gross! You have eyes on your hands?
Yeah, I get pink palm. Like a lot. Oh, balls!
You call for me? Ah, bitch!
You call for me?
Tell us who sent you.
Are you kidding me? Muzan would murder me.
Moves on.
Oh, fuck you.
Well, I definitely have a bunch of broken bones, but luckily that's over, and I'll finally have some time to Wait, when did I?
Hi there.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh, did that happen
I'm
right
one of
after?
the demons with a sad backstory.
I don't remember that. I'm gonna put background music again.
Can I read you some of my amateur poetry?
Are the only options that or death?
Yes. Oh, eat shit, dude.
Oh God, no! My motion sickness.
That's funny. Yes, it did.
I need a break. God damn it.
I'm Zenitsu. I'm a total pants-pissing coward, a shameless lech. I can't stop screaming, and I'm only useful when I'm unconscious.
Wow, the audience must hate you.
Actually, they say I'm relatable.
That's fucked up.
That is true. I don't know why everyone loves Zenitsu or whatever. I like his like form when he goes unconscious, but
Okay, I'll live to kill demons. I haven't washed his forehead in 3 months.
I could smell.
But I'm also very pretty.
That is actually way more disturbing than the boarhead. Please put it
yo, actually true.
back on.
It's mad weird without the
Can I nail
forehead.
your sister?
No!
I'm gonna.
All right, we got some rest. Now our next mission is to kill some spiders.
Huh? What was that?
No.
Yo, what is this channel? This is so cool. Team 4-star.
Oh, sorry, demon spiders.
Well, be more specific next time.
I wanna bang that chick.
That is a guy!
Not so bad.
Hi there. I'm a spider boy, and I'd like you to get the fuck out of our forest, please.
I'd like you to fuck you!
Father.
Sorry, but you're evil. So you have to die.
Fine, but we're going to give you our sad backstories right before you kill us, so it feels extra tragic.
Fair enough.
You see, when I was a child, I was super sick, but when I was a demon, I wasn't sick, and then I could have the family I always wanted.
That's really sad, but I feel like this would have been way more dramatic if the audience had known that ahead of time.
True. It was some BS how
Did I die?
they got her, I feel like.
I'm your little butterfly.
Got him.
Also, I'm here.
Oh shit, sorry we skipped you.
Should we kill his sister?
No.
We should kill his sister.
Fuck.
Who are they?
These are the Gote 13.
This is so well done.
Ashura. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time to spend on them, so they're basically a collection of broad caricatures and catchphrases for the moment.
True.
Very sad.
I love drama.
I talk about very violent things with a happy smile.
Oh.
I'm also quiet, but creepy.
I'm the girl!
And they're a bunch of assholes.
Well, what do you mean?
Stabbing your dumb sister.
Oh my god!
Oh yeah, stab that little boy's sister.
You guys are
This
assholes.
is such
Maybe
good
don't stab her.
Oh, what?
acting.
Bullshit.
Voice acting.
How are these people working for this organization?
May I remind you that we have man-eating demons making golden corrals out of our villages? We're not picky about who can kill them.
See? She wants the bee. Don't you, you little blood slut? Yeah. Fuck you, bitch.
That means
What
she's
the
cool
hell?
and you all suck. Tanjiro, take your sister and go rest with your friends.
You know what's Sasuke? You know Sasuke?
I got baby limbs.
And I have lost the ability.
This should be a meme like that.
I no longer have a purpose.
Okay, but
Damn, this guy changed the subtitles. This is like a lot
you
of
say, I'll
work.
get you next time, gadget.
Fuck you.
Hey, so I'm cleaning house. Who doesn't want to die? Cool. How about you? You want to die?
Yeah, I want to die.
You want me to murder you?
Oh, just fucking end me.
Cut off your head and bleed you
This
out.
is
Bleed me like a pig.
And you want a meat hook?
Oh god, yeah, daddy, yeah.
Take my blood. Go kill a kid named Tanjiro.
Okay.
All right, we fully recovered and we even had a training
That's the end of
and
the
now
season.
it's time for a train arc.
What is a train?
I don't know.
Hey.
Holy shit, look at this kid.
okay.
He's got Doritos all over his robes. Yo, kid, you nacho
He
cheese
does have
or you
Doritos.
Cool Ranch? Oh man, he won't stop screaming.
You think it has like something to do with me or?
Yeah, of course it's something to do with you, Sean.
Sean looks
You
mad
like
weird.
Fucking Toy Story reject ass.
So good. He does look like Toy Story, the Toy Story thing. I was playing a game, I was distracted, so I'm gonna be lurking until I'm playing. No worries. Thanks for jumping in.
Shut the fuck up. You look like something Tim Burton shit out on a bad day.
Talk to me like that again, I will come down there, I will stab you with my spider dick, okay?
kinda hot.
This thing's like a hypodermic needle full of spite and spider jizz. I will fuck you up, okay? I will fuck you up. Wait, did he stop screaming? Holy shit!
It says sponsorship time.
You know, Mr. Steak, they tell you not to bring your work home with you.
True.
Up next, we...
Jesus, this man has like a 5-minute sponsor. Shit. And he had 4 million views. He probably could have had so much more if he didn't have the sponsor too. That's crazy. You still gonna be just playing your game? Okay. I was gonna ask how Christmas was, but you know. How was your Christmas, Nathan?
What you need to know is to squish that cat. And you just gently squish them. That's not comfortable for the cat, or that safe, to be honest with you.
It's
You
okay,
just throw a towel on the cat again, squish her with a towel. What you can do is scoop her up, a little football carry, just like that. Butt in your hand, and just squish her tight to your body. Just squish them really tight to your body. You don't have to worry about hurting a cat, you know, just squishing them against your bodies. And there we go. We just made friends with this wonderful little cat. Look at that face. Look at that face.
That's
Squishing
kinda
is your best
sus.
friend when you're dealing with a cat. You basically just lean forward, squish them nice and tight. And again, I'm just squishing them into myself. We always squish that cat.
Yeah, you gotta squish. It's not the only thing I'm squishing tonight. I don't know. Oh God.
Welcome to Walmart. Did you enjoy parking 100 yards away and then walking all the way to the entrance to find out there's no shopping carts left? It was and I couldn't be more stressed out. Perfect. Now that you're warmed up, enjoy weaving your cart around old ladies that leave their shit in the middle of the aisle and parents that decided to bring their entire family to the store.
Why'd
Great.
they have to
I
go
hate
to
it when I
VR
can move
for
around
this?
freely. Don't we all, sir?
My
Only thing that
Christmas
can
is
make
bad,
this
my
worse
parents
is if
are
you guys
screaming
ran
at
out
each
of
other.
grocery bags, which never happens. Son of a bitch. Hey, good news is I found you a shopping cart, but 3 of the wheels
Your
don't
parents?
rotate and it only turns left. I love it when they do
We're
that. And am I
screaming?
gonna have to spend 20 minutes locating a Walmart employee to unlock a glass door so I can buy Super Smash Brothers? Oh yes,
Yes.
sir. It'd be too easy otherwise. And one more thing, we have 30 checkout lanes, but we thought it'd be funny to only staff 2 of them to see how long the lines get. That's hilarious. And is your deli open by
I used to find these types of stuff funny, but this is like too long.
Welcome to Walmart.
What's up,
Did you
Nico?
enjoy
No, it's
parking
restarting. Okay, well, I'm sorry.
Quietly lurking.
I hope your Christmas is better playing games and seeing my Christmas hat. How you doing though, Nico?
Small things that I do on a daily basis to instill a little bit of fear and chaos into the general population. Little disclaimer, there is no greater purpose to my actions. I do this for me and only me. However, I do believe if I do enough of these small actions, I will be able to change the trajectory of certain people's lives, essentially making me immortal. First and foremost, when a stranger sneezes, I will make sure to have eye contact with them, yet I will not say bless you. This is to ensure that they understand I notice their suffering, yet I will do nothing about it.
I'm gonna try to do that in the future. When someone sneezes, I'm just gonna be like, "You say to me, you're good? Glad to hear it."
It creates an unbridled anger inside someone who moments ago did not even know I existed. It's a little slice of heaven that most
yesterday, but
hard
I'm going
drugs
to play
can't
my
even
game. I'm still
compete
lurking.
with. When in
Okay.
an elevator, I try and make everyone as uncomfortable as possible without actually doing anything.
It was
The
yesterday?
majority of the
Christmas-
time, this
isn't it
means I'm
Christmas
Blair
today?
Witching it in the corner. This normally scares and confuses most people, and the best part is it's technically not even illegal. I also start conversations under bathroom stalls. Hello there.
Hey, happy Saturday and Merry Hanukkah. What's up, Epicuro? How you doing? Last video. It's kind of I don't know if we should watch this video. 9/11. Too soon. Okay, let's watch it. We do Christmas on the 20th. Oh yeah, you were telling me. Well, Nathan was telling me that Mexican people do Christmas on the 24th, I'm pretty sure. So, gotcha. Happy Saturday indeed.
This is an assassin's teapot. It can be used to pour yourself a drink and to pour a drink for your enemy. You can then down your drink to prove that the drink isn't poisoned. There's no poison in there. Don't worry about the poison. There is no poison. But then
I've done this before with my friend. Not the poison part, but I've done it before where like I sat on the sofa and then like edited myself on the other side of the sofa. It was actually really cool. I'm gonna try to find the video right. Yeah, I'm gonna try to find the video for you guys right now. I liked it. I forgot what the channel was called. The channel we had. Damn it. It was like something with guitars or music or something. Whatever. Nah, I didn't kill someone with that. What the heck? What
when your enemy takes a drink, they find out that it is poisoned. And by the way, this doesn't require you to spend the last few years building up an immunity to iocane powder. It works straight off the bat. No preparation required. That's because the assassin's teapot can be used to pour 3 different drinks, which I've shown here using 3 different colored liquids.
So
by the way, if you plan to poison your enemy, I recommend using liquids of the same color.
Do I need to tell the viewers that they shouldn't be trying to poison people? Like legally, just that it would break the flow of the video.
Hey,
Film myself having a fake phone call with a lawyer in which I explain the problem. And so long as I say out loud, don't try to poison people, then that should have me covered. Okay. Click.
The way you choose the drink is by sneakily covering up one of these holes. If you cover this hole, you get a blue drink. If you cover this hole, you get a yellow drink. If you cover no holes, you get a green drink. So 3 drinks in total. Though actually, no, 4 drinks. If you cover both holes, you get the null drink. But how does it work? Well, you know me, if I want to describe how a hydrodynamic mechanism works, I like to make a transparent 2D version of it. I'll put a playlist of those videos in the card and the description.
Sick.
First, I needed to figure out what was going on in...
How was your Jewish Christmas? It was, nice. Now, I was gonna hang out with friends, but one of them got COVID, so they canceled the plans. So, my uncle came over, and, I just spend the day normally. I'd actually use it if people like 3 different beverages. True. That's actually
inside the
clever,
teapot. And a bit like with the gluggle jug, the only really sensible way to do that was to hit it with a hammer. So you can see there are two chambers here side by side, and they both lead up to the spout. Additionally, one chamber leads up to this hole, the other chamber leads to this hole.
But the hole is like kind of awkward, no? Like I feel like if you had a hole there, then it's kind of obvious that there's something fishy. Like in my humble opinion, I would want to be like, have a button that's like camouflaged with the teapot. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just what I think.
For the 2D version, I don't want to put them side by side because then it wouldn't be 2D, but I feel like I can put them top to bottom and it should still work. And here it is. So if I want a blue drink, I cover this hole. If I want a yellow drink, I cover this hole. And if I want a green drink, I cover neither of the holes.
It combines
And for completeness, here's the null drink. Similarly, I could have a black coffee, or I could have milk, or I could have a milky coffee. So that's how it works, but why does it work? Why is it that putting your finger over different holes causes different liquids to flow out? Well, it comes down to surface tension. It's similar to this demonstration you might have seen before. Look, I can pour water from this bottle, but if I turn the bottle upside down, no water pours out. The trick is that there's a gauze covering the opening of the bottle. So when I pour it like this, water can flow out and air can flow in. But when I turn the bottle upside down, for water to flow out, air would need to flow in. And for air to flow in, surface tension would need to be broken.
That's so cool. That's probably how a lot of magic tricks are done. I don't think you'd inspect the teapot before drinking. I guess, yeah. But you would see all the holes, no? And be like, what? But yeah. Imagine being in the moment of crime and forget what you had to cover in order to
For example, where instead of a gauze, there's a small...
Nah, I don't think you would make that mistake because you could kill yourself, you know? So that's pretty intense.
Hole. The hole's actually big enough to push a straw up into, and it floats to the top of the bottle. It's a really cool trick. You know, strictly speaking, ultimately, it's not surface tension that's keeping the liquid in place. It's air pressure. Like, the Assassin's teapot and these bottle tricks wouldn't work in a vacuum. So the reason the liquid doesn't fall out of the Assassin's teapot when you have your thumb over the hole is because the atmosphere is pushing on it. Atmospheric pressure is holding the liquid in place. And that's counterintuitive.
Oh my God, it's literally because the air is not going in? That's actually sick. It is... What time is it, actually? Give me one moment. It is... Oh, I got a new follower on Instagram. Let me check that out. And I have to charge my phone. It's at 13%. Oh, God. Oh, okay. It is 10:43. I'm sorry, that took so long.
Like, you think, well, the real explanation is that,
for Christmas.
you know, well, if the liquid did fall out a little bit, it would create a vacuum, and the vacuum would pull the liquid back in. But there is no pulling force. There's only pushing force from the atmosphere. It's like when you suck on a straw. Cool. It's not the...
I don't suck on straws. I don't suck on anything. That's pretty sussy baka.
Suction that's pulling the liquid up the straw, it's the atmosphere pushing the liquid up the straw. And that's really counterintuitive because you feel like, well, look, that's me doing the work. I'm sucking on the straw. I'm pulling the liquid up with my lungs. At this point, I want to go off on a bit of a tangent and talk about a type of pedantry that I think isn't always helpful. Like, imagine you say, I'm sucking liquid up a straw now.
I would never say
I mean, it's a weird thing to say out loud, but hypothetically. And then an annoying physicist comes along and says, well, technically, you're not sucking water up a straw. It's the atmosphere pushing it up the straw. And then in the next breath,
I still don't get it. How am I not sucking on the straw?
Physicist might go on to talk about the flow of positively charged holes in a semiconductor. Well, holes don't flow, and a hole can't have charge. So why is it okay to talk about the flow of positively charged holes? Well, the reason it's okay is because
it's useful.
It's useful.
Yeah.
But I would also argue that it's useful to talk about a suction force.
Yeah, it's very useful to talk about suction.
So long as you keep the underlying physics in mind, you should be okay. Like, For example, you can't just increase a suction force indefinitely. Eventually, when you get to about 100 kilopascals, it stops working because you've run out of atmospheric pressure, the thing that's really doing the work underneath. Similarly, I think it should be all right to talk about the flow of cold. Like if I put an ice cube in my drink, the cold flows from the ice cube into the drink. Of course, that's not really what's happening. The warmth from the drink is flowing into the ice cube, and so it gets colder. But it's useful to talk about the flow of cold. Again, so long as you understand the underlying physics. Like, you can't just keep pumping cold into something because eventually you reach absolute zero.
Yeah.
By the way, these animations are from a video I made about how...
Oh my god.
All LEDs are secretly solar panels, and all solar panels are secretly LEDs. The link's in the card and in the description. Okay, tangent over. The point is, we all know that for the water to get out, air needs to be able to get in. And with your finger off the hole, well, air can get in at the top, but if you cover over the hole, the only way for the air to get in is through the spout, and that's where surface tension comes in. Surface tension acts to minimize surface area. You might think, well, what?
So because there's only one hole, one hole.
Let's go.
Let's go. Because there's only one hole, then the hole that it's coming out of, if that's the only place to go and it's like all the surface area is covered by water, the surface tension, so then the water doesn't come out, or the liquid. That's cool. I get it. I'm a genius. I should go to school again. Remember when the zuck was a thing? Zucchini? I don't know. Zuck looks kind of familiar.
One way for the water to get out is if the air can sneak past it on the way. But what would that look like? Well, it might look a bit like this. You've got a drip of water starting on one side, and on the other side, you've got a bubble of air forming. But see how that increases the surface area of the water. And because surface tension acts to decrease the surface area, that's not energetically favorable, and so you don't get this bubbling effect. And instead, the liquid is trapped inside the chamber. This is also the principle behind a magic trick, by the way, sometimes
That's
called
what I said. Bro,
an inexhaustible bottle or think a drink. It's usually a bit more elaborate. It'll have more chambers and different options for drinks. But anyway, you can read all about it in my kids' book, Science is Magic, available from all good bookstores.
So these are magnets.
Yeah.
And then these are metal, so they stick to the magnets.
Yo,
and then
British
when
people
they
sound
go
smart when
round,
they're kids.
They also go around with it.
And then they grow up and sound smart.
And that makes it spin.
Yeah. And some of them go loop the loop like this.
That was my daughter spontaneously explaining the mechanics of the thing that she just built. The thing she just built was from a KiwiCo project, the sponsor of this.
Guys, my ears hurt from the hat. What is this?
Kenneth, Mark, give me the Zuck. But you can follow up and tell me what that means, and I'll try my best to do it for you. What's the whole Zuck thing? ZUCC. I haven't seen this before.
ZUCC. What is Zuck? Like Zuckerberg? That's his last name, right?
Video. Actually, my kids have had a KiwiCo. This thing.
Oh, the video.
The
I actually stopped the video exactly where I should have. I'm a genius. Oh, sorry. I just realized I was just showing my face. I just closed the window. Oh my god, bro. I just... why am I so stupid? Oh my god. Is this the show I think it is? I think it is the show I think it is. Prison School. My friend showed me like a few minutes of this show. Oh, wait. My friend showed me a few minutes of this show and I was like, what the hell is this? 9K flip? Nah. Give me the Zuck? I would have to give you the puck. Because ping pong moosters. Yeah, this show is mad weird. My friend showed me and all my other friends, like, and my cousin and whatever, like, the best scenes from the show, and it was, bro, it's crazy stuff. Shirito. Oh my god, he actually says that in Japanese. どっちが好きか
胸ですか尻と胸尻とどちらかといえば小生はおっぱガクトみんなここは俺に任せてくれないか
Don't ruin this.
清志理事長は俺たちを試しているんだ思い出せあれは確かそうだあれは尻が好きです
なんで
意見が合うな私の人生のモットーを一つ教えよう尻好きに悪い人間はいないだ当たった大学の延期を認めてくださるのでござるないやまだ認めるわけにはいかん
Butt or boobies? Butt. I used to take pictures of butts when I was a kid, so I think butt. I'll go with butt there. I have to say that I started watching that anime because I wanted to see something random, but I ended up laughing a lot. Yeah, I was laughing too when my friend showed me some stuff. So I'm gonna do that, but I'm willing to waste points again. It depends. Boobs? No. Personalities? So you're going with boobs? Okay, doctor.
この答え一つで俺たちの人生が決まるのか
決まるのか
これはまるでスフェンクスの謎かけでござる朝は4本足昼は2本足夜は3本足になるものなーにってあれそうそしてその問題に正解できなかったものは
Juice feet? Nice. Please say I can get it right this time. You can get it right this time. When did I say ass eating is a sport? I do not remember saying that. I probably said it though.
この問題を乗り切れば俺たちは生き残れるってことだ清の言う通りだぜ清俺もそう思ってたところだ5人の知恵を合わせればなんとかなるかもなんとかなる相談は不要己の思考を語るときに公約数的な答えなど何の意味もない
True.
聞いてる欲求の理由私はそれが聞きたいどうだ清君好きだと言ったのだ君が答えたな
Damn. This got crazy. Look at his face. Jesus. Oh. No, you idiot. What? They make milk? Is that why you like boobies? Is that why they're better? Well, I guess that's why they're better.
生まれた直後はハイハイする赤ん坊成長して2本足で自立し老後は杖をつくから3本足清殿なってみせるでござる英雄オイディプスにダクト悪いけど少し黙っててくれないか
Lick my balls. He says the give milk. Says they give milk. You know, right? I mean, it is true, I guess.
考えすぎてはダメなのかそうだ好きに理由なんてないなぜ山に登るのかと問われた登山家がそこに山があるからと答えたようにそこに尻があるからでいいじゃないか
Yeah, because the butt is there.
かつて私は様々な地でこの質問を繰り返しそして様々な人間に失望してきた
What the hell?
好きに理由なんてないという答え
There's no basis for why someone likes the thing.
ねよ理由はたまたジョージ・マロンのよろしくそこに尻があるからともだが尻が好きだと口にした以上理由がないなどただの逃げ工場時間は十分に与えたそろそろ君の答えを聞かせてくれ
Don't screw up, bro.
ダメだもう何も思いつかない
Don't screw up. What the?
お尻なぜ窓からお尻がいや待て違うあれは
おっぱい
おっぱいだ団長のケツのようなおっぱいだ
おっぱいだ What the?
似ているお
I
尻と
can't.
おっぱい
Oh, it's too beautiful.
おっぱいおっぱい人類が四足歩行の頃
It's okay. This is because the real reason why butts are the best is because everyone has a butt, but not everyone has boobs. So You send this to me, D-Now. But yeah, I agree with that. Honestly, the fact that milk doesn't come from a single hole, but like an area of effect splash makes me incredibly uncomfortable. Yeah, it's an AoE. You know, if you're playing an MMORPG, you got that AoE. You got that. Anyway.
目の前にあるのは尻だった。
尻だった。
そして人類が二足歩行を始めた時から尻は人の目の前に突き出されることはなくなり。
What does he have glasses on?
僕らの目の前に現れたのはおっぱい。
おっぱい。
女性のお尻の代わりとして胸を大きく膨らませたんだ。本来の生命の源はお尻。おっぱいはその代用品なんだ。当然おっぱいなどお尻のまがいものに過ぎないのです。コピーかオリジナルかどちらかを取れと言われれば
Girls be begging for my milk. That's different.
進化の過程で全面に張り出たおっぱいによって奥へ後ろへとお尻は隠された。だがしかし
Anime can make anything amazing.
もういい。君が本物の尻好きだということは十分伝わる。グレートな答えだ。同行の死よ。それは。
Bro, people do not do that in Japan, okay?
つまり言ったはずだ。尻好きに悪い人間はいないと。退学は延期だ。
Bro, come on my butt. What is this? It's like so cool. Okay, so we're done with videos that everyone sent last week. So you guys are free to send in your own videos, and I'm just going to put on this jazz music until you do. Everyone has tits. If a male stimulates their nipples enough, they'll make milk. What? If males stimulate their nipples enough, do they have milk? Men can breastfeed. What? Milk. If I sucked... no picture, no picture. Oh. If I sucked a man's nipple long enough, would they eventually produce milk? It's a practice in the USSR. Do you like sucking the nipples or the... Have you ever fed your husband your breast milk? Does rubbing your boobs help them grow? Huh? I love getting milk from my woman's breasts. It's incredibly hot, personal, and fantastic. Daily stimulation. This is beautiful. I love getting milk from my woman's breasts. It's incredibly hot and personal and fantastic. Daily stimulation, particularly in the form of suckling, will work. After about a few weeks with my partner doing this, she started lactating. Then a lot. We were very heavily into the adult breastfeeding kink. Loved it. It's a beautiful way to grow close to each other. Gaze into each other's eyes while suckling. This sets up mirror neurons, which are the neurological basis of a strong bond. She didn't have children and had induced lactation with domperidone. She said that she got it just by Googling "get them to BF" and the help of regular suckling her breasts. We initially met at a local munch, or public meetup, specifically meant for adult nursing relationships and erotic lactation. She was absolutely fascinated by her ability to produce milk and just loved playing with it, along with the satisfaction that comes with the pleasure she was able to inspire in others from what she was naturally creating herself. I was drawn to her voice and her story. We had similar nerdy and geeky interests, could carry on fun conversations, and eventually decided to set up a nursing session together. Okay, that's
Hello there.
It's a bit much for me. Do male nips finally have a reason to exist? I guess so. That was the most random thing ever. Amazing.
That idea.
If you dropped a link to Pornhub, you get permabanned. I will never unban you again. Yeah. Did a full peer review, double blind, and mods should check links if they can, but that's if possible.
Once in a while, I do see someone who's kind of weak and pathetic, and I think, why do you get to be in charge?
I think it should be whoever's the strongest or who's ever slept with the most women.
Hey, now you're thinking. But how would you prove that you would sleep with the most number of women in order to become the king?
I just like the idea that a guy would show up and just be like, yeah, I'm running for president, and here is a list of 50 women, you can call them up. Here's a few kids that look like me for proof.
It's like a bad list of references.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I did the full peer review double blind study and published it. It was had a Japanese sound. I didn't hear the sound.
Hey, can I use you as a reference? Yeah.
What, are you running for presidency? Instead of having a sex scandal, he would be like, yeah, it turns out he wasn't having that many affairs.
Oh, no, he was loyal to his wife. What's going on?
Get him out of there.
How hard is it to put a sword in a stone?
That's a really good point.
That would be much more difficult than pulling it out of the stone. So the guy who put it in there, that should be the guy who's the king. Okay, what else we got for mystical weapons? Poseidon has a trident.
Poseidon's trident, good one, yeah. So he can command the sea with that, can't he? He can like make the waves move, make the fish fuck each other, something like that.
If your trident controls the ocean, what's the point of like the pointy bit? Like he's not using the trident as well as a weapon, right? Wait.
Well, he is using it as a weapon.
What's the point of a trident?
That's a good point. Yeah, actually, what has a trident got to do with the sea?
What is a trident? Is it used for catching fish?
I don't know.
I never thought about this. There's a three-pronged spear. It is used for spearfishing.
No way.
Okay.
I guess it does make sense if you're like going out of school.
Wait, people actually use tridents? Do people use tridents? Whoa. What? That's so cool.
Fish, you want them as many prongs as you can get.
Yeah. What you'd really want is a 5-pronged spear, right? Because, see, this is 2D.
Explain why is 5 better than... No.
Okay, hold on. It goes down like that.
Yeah, I'm with you so far.
Now, if you've got a spear that goes like this, then, oh shit, I missed it. Or the fish was over here, and so I missed it. So what they're doing is they're making 2 more prongs.
Nice.
But
actually,
that's
like the way
only
he's showing
2D.
this.
What you
He just
really
has it on
want
Photoshop and
is
he's erasing
5,
it.
because...
Yeah, I mean, that is superior.
How did he do that? Yeah, why is there 5 minutes left?
I think, in contrast to this extremely bloodthirsty and violent episode, we should walk through a meadow holding hands.
All right. and I begin to sweep at...
Its juicy goodness.
No! I don't like this guy. His face scares me. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Why are all the kids loving Sonic colors? Is it cool? He calls them tridents, I call them freaks.
Originally released back in 2010 for the Wii, Sonic Colors marked a return to form for the Blue Blur. It righted the ship of Sonic's 3D missteps by focusing entirely on what makes the series fun, feeling like you're the fastest thing alive. Sonic Colors is that same game, remastered for modern platforms.
I feel like the fastest thing alive when I'm with my girlfriend.
With improved lighting, 4K 60
playing this right now?
FPS support,
Oh, cool. Sonic Colors is good.
Switch, of course, a
You're
remix
speedrunning it, oh
soundtrack,
nice.
and a couple of other minor gameplay additions. None of these
Are you a good
upgrades make
speedrunner?
Sonic Colors Ultimate a must-buy for returning
Probably
fans,
not,
but for
'cause you're
anyone
talking
who
to me
missed
while
out on it due to,
speedrunning.
I don't know, being put off by the likes of Sonic 06 or Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 1, it's
This looks
still
cool.
good enough that this trip to Eggman's Interstellar Amusement Park is already an easy recommendation.
How long is like the biggest speedrun for this game? Oh yeah,
Regardless
23.
of whether you've
Oh,
played
yeah.
before, the story of Sonic Colors won't be a surprise to anyone.
Oh shit. All of these videos won't have sound in the they won't have sound in the VODs. Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O. I think I screwed up.
Eggman is up to no good, seeking to harness the
Maybe
power
they
of
will. I
alien
have to
energy to
fix
fuel a
something.
mind control weapon,
Oh, I'm
and
so
it's up to
dumb.
Sonic and Tails to stop him. The plot plot obviously isn't what anyone's here for, but at
Oh,
least
no,
it's
well,
well acted
well,
and
never
sprinkled
mind.
with a few chuckles here and there, especially thanks to Cubot
actually
and Orbot,
stupid.
Eggman's two robot henchmen who have their own little running gag of Cubot's voice chip constantly getting damaged and
Kind of
replaced,
depends how
much
the
to the
game's
chagrin
played.
of
You beat her a
Eggman.
month ago. Cool. Finished it so fast as neurons can't even process that he doesn't have a girlfriend.
What is important about the story, however, is that it introduces the Wisps, the small, multicolored aliens that Eggman is hunting down. These Wisps are the main thing that separates Sonic Colors from every other mainline
Why do you
console
have to
Sonic
tell
game,
people
both
I don't
past
have a
and present.
girlfriend?
Think of them as
It's supposed to be knowledge that's not shared amongst the masses. Bye.
transformation power-ups along the lines of what you'd find in a Mario game like Mario Odyssey, only you get to choose when you activate their powers. Pink Wisps can turn you into a spiked ball that allows you to cling to walls, yellow ones turn you into a drill that can dig underground, and teal Wisps turn you into a laser that can bounce off prisms and travel at the speed of light. They're unlocked as you progress through Sonic Colors, but you can always revisit old levels and replay them with Wisps that you unlocked later on to access new paths, which is actually something that we'll circle back to. There are a total of 9 Wisps that you can unlock over the course of Sonic
I hope
Colors
there's
Ultimate.
not 11 Wisps. There's 9. 11 Wisps would be bad.
Including a brand new Ghost Wisp that wasn't in the original game. And they primarily enhance 2 things that are key to a great Sonic game. Maintaining your speed, duh, and the multiple
This
paths
looks so
that
cool,
allow you to
actually.
find your own way through a level.
I mean, you guys told me
might give you
about
the opportunity to completely bypass a
You
slow
guys told me
platforming
about it before,
section
but
by zipping up a wall. A
it
drill
looks
wisp
very,
might lead you to a subterranean path that's way faster than the one above ground.
the
And a
word?
laser wisp can instantly shoot
Very?
you across a section
There's a
lined
lot
with
of different
enemies,
stuff here, which is
taking them all out at the literal speed of light.
Oh, I gotta pee. I gotta pee.
These
What do I
particular
do?
power-ups do a great job.
Oh god, I gotta pee, guys. I'm sorry. I'll be right back. Quietly lurking. Back in black. I hit the sack. Oh. Wait, I forgot to put music on. I'm sorry. I think I'm gonna add the Who's That Pokemon. Huh? Hello? Hello? Oh, okay. I thought the mic wasn't working for some. I think I'm gonna add the Who's That Pokemon to the break screen. Oh.
Job of varying up the level design without ever slowing Sonic down. Then there are the ones more geared towards secret collecting,
y'all
light
can do
puzzle
that.
solving, and platforming. And while
Oh,
these
I
are
PP.
certainly less exciting than the ones built around speed, they still make exploration.
What are you guys saying? Ahora estoy publicando anuncios para desactivar los anuncios para los nuevos espectadores y en general tendremos menos anuncios a lo largo de la transmisión si lo hago yo mismo. No es por money. Los anuncios dan centavos. LOL. No te perderás ningún contenido ya que probablemente estoy orinando ahora mismo. Yo, so true. Сейчас я запускаю рекламу, чтобы отключить рекламу для новых зрителей и в целом у нас будет меньше рекламы в всем потоке. Потоке? I don't know. Если я сожалею это сам. Это не для money. Реклама дает... Okay, let's just... Okay, I'm not doing the Japanese one.
And revisiting levels with new powers a lot of fun, as they can help you discover new paths that dramatically change the flow of a level, and even help you improve your time or score. The new Ghost List is probably the weakest of the bunch, as it's really only used to mix up the locations of some hidden red rings compared to where they were in the original game. With it, you can float through walls by pulling yourself to an anchor point, and, well, that's about it. Unlike the other Wisp powers, it's never really used in any sort of clever or satisfying way. The one downside to the Wisps is that because they're drip-fed to you one at a time over the course of the whole game, the first time through the early levels of Sonic Colors isn't nearly as fun as they are when you're able to replay the Wisps.
I made an animal that
causes
fights
the
with...
first few hours to be kind of a drag because you're often forced along paths that are slow and tedious. That's an issue that carries over from the original, but one that Sonic Colors Ultimate introduces for the first time is related to its remixed soundtrack. The first 3 levels of any world play a newly remixed theme, and the last 3 levels play the original versions. The bummer is that there's no way to choose which version you want to hear, which sucks because I've found that most of the original themes are far superior to the overly produced remixes.
Yo, my name is Ping Pong Mooster. Yo. Back when they first joined stream, they asked the same question. I was like, yeah, that's kind of weird. You're not from China, Dinell. Dinell's from California, but he has Hispanic.
The soundtrack is still great all around, don't get me wrong, but it seems strange to have both versions and not give you the option of selecting which one you want to hear on a given level. The other big gameplay addition is a Rival Rush mode that allows you to race against Metal Sonic in what is essentially just a dressed-up time trial. It's a fun way to challenge yourself to beat a level quickly, but it feels like it should be something that you can do on every level instead of there just being one per world. A total of just 6 races.
This is actually
altogether.
really cool.
Cosmetic items were also added in the remaster, giving you the ability to customize Sonic's shoes, gloves, aura, and boost effect by spending a new currency that you can collect throughout each level. None of them are particularly noteworthy. It's just some straight recolors, simple visual effects, and tacky patterns. I found myself just
How much do you think they get paid to make these reviews?
On the graphical side of things, Sonic Colors Ultimate holds up reasonably well.
Because this money is like...
Wii game. The one sour spot is the cutscenes, which were not redone and are super low res on a modern screen. But the actual game runs at a steady 60 FPS and 4K on the PlayStation 5. And there are some nice improvements made to the lighting and character models. Most importantly, Sonic Colors Ultimate benefits from having been a gorgeous game to begin with. Its levels are among the most imaginative the series has ever seen. From the Rainbow Road-esque Starlight Carnival that has Sonic speeding through space while
Mario.
an intergalactic war plays out in the background, to the dreamlike Sweet Mountain that's made entirely of junk food. Every world is beaming with creativity, and the unifying theme of it all being part of an amusement park is just icing on the cake.
Hey, nice music.
As a remaster, Sonic Colors Ultimate throws in a decent amount of new stuff, but nothing beyond the frame rate and resolution bump really add up to anything that elevates the experience beyond what it was on the Wii.
It was original on the Wii. Guys, did you see what I did? I added pictures to all the rewards, and I changed the colors to be thematic. Like green are all the sound alerts, and isn't that so cool?
That said, it was already great in 2010, and it still holds up as one of the best modern Sonic games to date, thanks to its imaginative level designs, a laser focus on the things that make the series fun, and the addition of the power-granting wisps that add a ton of variety to each level without compromising the speed that should define a Sonic game.
8?
For more Sonic Colors, make sure to check out the first minutes of the game, along with our original review of the Wii game. And for everything else, keep it here on IGN.
On IGN. is cool. This is cool. Some cool stuff. Why it says no you to me, but not to you? I'm trying to see.
Oh boy, I think.
Hey, no boys around here.
Fangs, muscles, poison, venom. Penises? What? Penises? What? Penises? What? Penises?
Bro, you've sent this one before. It's stupid.
No, what? What? Yes, they try to stab each other with their two sharpened members. You mean each has one and
But that's
together it's two?
cool.
Each has two members, Satan. Thou shalt shut up. Anyway, the loser gets pregnant. Yamete-kuda what? The winner stabs the loser, injects his juice into him, impregnates him, and swims away.
The Russian man.
What's so funny, Satan? Imagine getting into a fight and you lose so bad, you get pregnant. How dare thou? That is inappropriate. The winner literally makes the loser his fish. Satan, yes lord. Satan, yes lord. I meant an animal that fights with its claws, fangs, muscles, poison, venom. Penises? What? Penises? What? Penises? What? Penises? Not what? What? Yes, they try to stab each
Why
other.
am I
with their
watching it again?
Voice actor forgot how to do the voice of Murray. Because I'm still really pissed off about that.
Oh, it's a speedrun? So I'm trying to fix the...
Hey, will you sing Peanut Butter Jelly Time and dance for me? Absolutely not.
Oh, oops.
That is a hard no.
Speedrunner, bro. Is this a world record? It's not a world
Do you
record.
remember the opera mission? Huh, do I remember the opera mission?
Oh, you use the menu.
Listen, Jan, I drink to forget.
You use the menu to... Sorry, I had to mute him. You use the menu to like alter the stuff in the game, yeah? That's pretty cool. Have you guys ever seen Pokemon speedruns? Pokemon speedruns are insane. Pokemon speedruns are like... There's so much thought that goes into them, and they take so long. That's probably why. I'm looking at... I'll pay attention more to the movement. Which game is this again?
Probably.
Oh, he talks so loud. I'm gonna put the backup music on for this. But yeah, if you guys put a link in the chat, I will click on it. So yeah, don't worry about like me having to scroll up or putting it again. I started to click on it so I could see it, so I could just have it ready to put on the screen after the next video. I feel like that's the best way. Infobot. He just like does side hops a lot of the time, yeah? Is there oh, here it says right here. World record is 1852. I'd kind of rather see the world record if you don't mind. But I will watch this. I'm assuming you like this guy, that's why, yeah? Cuz he looks like me and I look cool. I get it. The menu to keep momentum. Damn, that must be hard to that must be easy to screw up. I wonder what's the hardest part. Like hardest in terms of if you screw up, it's like the biggest like thing that's bad. Like you lose the most amount of time and it's hard to do at the same time. Right. He's a Jew, so I thought you might be connected. Yeah, I mean he's my third cousin, you know, but you know.
Tarot cards.
Or you might know him. There's like millions of Jews, bro. I don't know millions of people. I barely know 5 people. I don't know. Damn. This looks so cool.
This might gold.
Ooh. I wonder how to set up. I've been getting more and more interested in like wanting to do speedruns to be honest. The movement in this game is crazy. It doesn't look too crazy to me, to be honest. It looks pretty cool.
Come on, make it into the hole. Make
it into the hole.
Yes!
That's what she said.
Fuck yeah, bitch!
Oh my god, dude. I'm starting to get good at this. Dude, I'm starting to get better.
That's like how I would react. What a loser. Look at him.
This game.
Just like me. Just like me.
I feel
I feel like it's so weird how you have to manually like click for speedruns. It's not weird, but it's like it makes it hard to actually see what a legit speedrun is. And it's just like, to me at least, that's what it seems like. I thought it might be automated, but I guess that would be pretty impossible to do. Or if you could somehow capture the game, and then when the game reaches a certain point, like your console is screenshotting or like video recording the game, and when it reaches a certain like thumbnail or frame, then it auto like clicks. That would be cool. Splits don't matter for the run, but yeah, auto. Oh, they do exist for a lot of games. Oh, that's really cool. I guess you're right. They don't really matter, right? Because the end number is what matters most. But they matter if you want to see how well you're doing or how you're pacing and stuff. But
really, really good about how much better
I think
this
I
game
see what
I'm
you
getting.
mean. Unbelievable difficult.
Oh.
Unbelievably difficult.
It's all finally starting to come together a little bit more. And the best part is...
Oh, that was cool. I like when they go through walls.
We're at the peak of the mountain and we're only halfway there. Isn't that what Dr. Disrespect used to say?
I don't know.
You know,
I don't
he
watch
fucked
him.
some other bitch and then got his channel deleted.
Wait, does anyone know what got him deleted? Or whatever? Dr. Disrespect. And he didn't get his channel, or like his Twitch thing, right? Ooh, new details. What? I can't talk about it. I've known for months now the reason why, and I'll just say this right now. There's a reason why we're suing the hell out of them. Damn. Interesting. Dr. Disrespect is suing Twitch? Or maybe not Twitch? Oh, EA. He's been shadow banned by EA. From EA. I don't know why I sounded excited for that. I'm streaming on Twitch. I have a confession to make. I'm Dr. Disrespect. What? Bro, can you like, you know, gift me some, like, 10,000 subs or something? Much appreciated.
And like recorded himself like being in the fucking bathroom.
This is the
recorded
fastest
some
planet?
dude's junk.
Okay.
You know,
It's a
in
cool-looking
hindsight,
planet.
Dr. Disrespect did a lot of things that were not exactly what I would call smart.
What did
I
he
need
do?
to do the better move. I need to.
I feel like Dr. Disrespect. Well, I watched him a bit on YouTube to get ideas of what to add on Twitch stream, because like his streams are like freaking TV shows, and you know how all these things I add, like, you know, I just keep adding like every day. Well, not every. I add like every week something new because it's just so fun and like I like doing it. But yeah, Dr. Disrespect has some crazy looking stuff. Demasiado. What is demasiado? Sometimes it's hard being hard.
Wow. What's up, Demetrius Focus?
See, someone in his chat said, "What did Doctor do?" Exactly. It means huge. Oh. I should have gotten that from context. Dinell, are you in this chat? Or you weren't there to support my man, Kshem? What a dumb name. Just kidding. It's a cool name. You were not there. Okay. It means too much. Too much pee-pee length. I wish I had that problem. It looks like he's doing so many things, but at the same time, like once you figure out how to do something, it comes to you easily. So it might look impressive, but it's like me playing the recorder. You might think that's hard to do, but you know what? I'm a master, so it's not hard for me. A ping pong master. There is a lot of frame perfects. Oh, there are? Yo, he's flying in the sky. Sheesh. What the hell? Did he just become tiny? Did he mess up? Or was that purposeful? Oh, it looked like it was purposeful. Still kind of the same. True. Kind of. The new planet is my favorite. Okay, let's see it. By the way, is this really loud? And like annoying? I just want to entertain, you know? I was just trying to play the recorder. I want to say flute so badly to trigger Nathan, but I'm being nice. This planet looks cool, actually. I remember we raided a speedrunner that I think was speedrunning this game, and he was trying to go up a mountain, and he kept screwing up. And then I never watched him again. I was watching two streamers today while like cleaning, or I was listening to them, and they were singing karaoke, and it just reminded me of singing karaoke, and I was like, damn.
If you're watching the Hawkeye series, then you're well aware of who Kate Bishop is, but what you might not know is that she's a fairly new character in the Marvel mythos, all things considered. She makes her first appearance in Young Avengers #1 in 2005, but doesn't actually become Hawkeye until
What's going on? What the hell? What the hell was that? Oh my god, that's stupid. Stupid advertisements, man. No, this is supposed to open on the other thing. But we watched like 8 minutes of that. Why'd you link me weapons again?
We've got to end this episode, and I'm going to end it by ending you.
Okay.
I break down your door, and I start throwing some shurikens at you.
Ah, too late. I have picked up a wooden table and thud, thud, thud,
Well, that's
thud.
okay, because that was just my distraction for my real plan, which is to feed you this delicious poisoned apple. You cannot resist its juicy goodness.
I already had breakfast.
Oh, what did you eat?
It was some duck, some chili, and some green beans from Cambodia.
God, that sounds absolutely delicious. I've really lost the appetite for murder.
Nasty.
Would you instead like to hold hands and have a delicious Cambodian breakfast?
That sounds lovely.
He should have said, would you like to hold hands and kiss?
Maybe we could kill a cow as well, like you did in Cambodia.
That is not canon.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't a cow, was it a child? A small Cambodian refugee. They had survived a much worse country and finally made it to Cambodia. The place where they could finally prosper, but then they ended up in a hole, receiving the bad end of a grenade from ordinary things.
This is rubbish. Let's try something else.
Yeah, everyone, go to your computer right now. Type in tickets to Syria.
Comma.
What happens if I destroy my passport? How do I renounce my citizenship?
How to buy ammo on deep/dark web.
How to smuggle cash on plane.
Do X-rays detect LSD? They don't.
Do
Save you a Google there.
Wow.
Hey.
What's like a shitty version of Pablo Escobar?
No outro this time. Video is over.
That was an outro.
Was there some weird recommended videos there? Well, which one do you want to watch?
We should watch one of my videos on the main channel.
That's good, bro. I thought it was over.
I like watching myself and listening to myself.
Yeah, me too. Is one of my videos in the recommended? No? Oh, that's fine. Doesn't matter.
No, I haven't watched your videos in ages. No. Is it just me?
Yes, it's
or
just
do you also have like tremendous contempt for the audience?
I hate them. Can't stand them.
Like I hate
know what?
the
I
fans.
hate
They're the
you
worst.
too.
I want to.
Hey, Yesik, what's up? Jasik, how's life? Sure. Jesus, that's loud. Yeah, I want to play this game. This game looks so cool. I'm talking to you guys. Yeah, sick.
Just Lord. What?
I'm banning that video. Nah, I'm joking. Yeah, I know you told me to play it. I didn't say that. Hollow Knights, right? It looks cool. Cancel pay. What? I said this game looks cool. I'm the boss for the last planet, and then I'll be on the final planet. Final boss. Oh, nice. Jasik, how was Christmas? When's the last stream of the year? My last stream is mod. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sad. I'm so sorry. Hello there. When is the last stream? Hey, what's up, Mac? How's Christmas? I would have to look at the schedule, but whoa, that looks easy. December 31st is a Friday, so probably last stream of the year will be Thursday, December 30th. Although it would be cool to stream on New Year's Eve to New Year's, but I don't think I'll be doing that, unfortunately. Oh, you got the new job? Was it the first one you interviewed for? Or you interviewed for another and got it? But congrats. Good? Great to hear, man. When can we get drunk? I don't like getting drunk alone. I mean, I'm not alone, I'm with you guys, but when you come visit. I haven't been around lately. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, but it still like feels bad, man, you know? This is modded. Oh, the base game isn't this hard? Honestly, it doesn't seem insanely hard. You just jump. I mean, the fire coming out of no. Oh, it doesn't come out of nowhere. Nah, it doesn't seem. Okay, and then the bumblebee. Okay, it seems pretty hard. Never mind, it seems pretty hard. It doesn't seem impossible though. It seems very hard. The music is a bit irritating though. It's like repeating itself over and over. To be able to time those is pretty hard. Yeah, I can see that. Did he even lose or she lose one life? I promise you, focusing on all of these inputs without any mistakes is damn near impossible. Well, practice probably makes perfect, right? Okay, that's pretty insane. Is it randomized though, or is it like a set thing? If it's randomized, that's insane. If it's a set thing, it's still insane, but like practice could get you there, I think. Oh, he lost a heart. How many hearts he has? 10 right now? 11 maybe? 10. Wait, 9? Wait, he has 9 lives. What the hell? Oh, I thought he was humping the thing. The woman who postponed our meetings texted me after 10 days and apologized for not telling anyone. In conclusion, we had a meeting on Thursday and she wants me to work with them. Nice! Is it good pay? You start next time. Nice. Why'd the music stop? Hey! How dare you? How dare I what? How dare you? Thank you very much. you for subbing, Sam. Thank you, bro. How you doing? Merry Christmas. Even if you don't celebrate, because I don't, and I still say it. In the base game... Oh, I just realized we got 5 out of 5. We gotta do the thing. We gotta spin the wheel. What do I put on for the wheel? Okay, we're gonna spin this wheel and see what happens. Okay, after every 5 subs, we gotta spin the wheel. Let me go to OBS so I could see it live. Beans! Oh, come on, bro. I didn't really want beans, to be honest. 4 stale beans. No hot sauce there, but... What the hell? Why is it showing the screen? Do you guys see that? Oh. Wait, what? Huh? That was really weird. It's 4 beans. Thanks. Anyway. In the base game, there's a boss rush with all 50 bosses in a row of a harder difficulty with almost no hard damage, charges, or magic. I spent months. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Only 100-ish people beat it. I don't celebrate Tree Day. I don't care. Happy Hanukkah. I don't celebrate it either. I'll be getting 16 souls more than my previous job. Hey, per course. And I'll only have 1 student per course. Nice. Hey. It's like you'll be giving private lessons. Pretty sussy. I got the beans like Yesik wanted. What do you get for Hanukkah? 8 days of presents. What did I get for Hanukkah? My mom got me socks. She actually did. She was like, what do you want? I was like, what are you gonna get me, mother? I make more money than you. I'm a streamer. So she got me socks. They're so stale. Yeah. This is the next video. This looks like it might be interesting. How is shoot only so small? That just ease. That shit is... What? This boss was crazy hard. You got this, Angel. Swallow them like in the old times. That sounds mighty sussy vodka over there, bro. Alright. It actually didn't taste too bad. I'm kind of surprised. Is thou girlfriend single? I have no girlfriend. So she's not single. I can't answer it. Jesus, that's loud. I got underwear for Christmas. Nice. I got my friend underwear for Christmas. It's in my teeth. Female students prefer female teachers. Oh. Aw. Well, you'll make them prefer you. Yo. Oh, Lux was here earlier.
Renaissance right now. I've never been to a
for like a
Renaissance
few minutes.
fair.
He was like,
I've always wanted to go. My parents never took me to one, and our school wouldn't ever take us here. But for some reason, they would always take us to like the Civil War exhibit. I wonder why. But yeah, man, this is gonna be like me unleashing my inner child. Drove their car.
No, Sam. No worries, bro. Sleep is important. Have a great night. Thank you for the sub, and have a happy Hanukkah. Bye-bye. I don't know why I keep saying that. I mean, a Merry Hanukkah. Shit, I messed up.
Are here, bro. We literally rode on horseback. We're that accurate. Huh, bro. Oh my gosh, bro, I swear. I'm done. I'm deleting my TikTok after that. Oh my god, I hate y'all. Tiger servant, where can I find the king's castle?
Are you looking?
Wow, that camera work is amazing.
Oh my god, I hate y'all.
Look at that camera
Where
work.
can I find the king's castle?
Are you looking for the king's feast?
I gotta read that again. I didn't absorb that information. There's a boss rush with all 50 bosses in a row of a harder difficulty with almost no hearts. That just sounds insane. Did you beat it? I'm guessing you didn't end up beating it, Doctor? You have 800 points? Nice.
No, I'm looking for the king's wife, my mistress.
What, pray tell, is she shopping for that you have to go and find her?
Oh, it's what she's gonna be shopping for of me.
Ooh, he has the moves. And I'm gonna have the moves right now. Watch this. Maybe you couldn't see it that well, but we got some more stretches. We got that leg stretch, bro. Oh, yeah, hell yeah, thank you. Go to sleep, Sam. I do it for you. I do it for you guys. You got 80% of the way. Your controller broke. Oh, damn. Then you'll... that sucks. You're insane, though, Doctor. You have dedication to things, which is very cool. You became a father of 3 cats. Sounds like you're gonna die all alone with 10 cats if you go up down this route. But this road. But cool. Bing bang. Bing bang. Hello to you too. When there's no more vids, FNUF? Nah.
Wink, wink.
Oh,
Maybe
yes,
one game.
my lord. Yes.
Yes. This is bad.
Who does that?
Feels like I'm back in the good old days.
Hey,
bro, break it down, bro, break it down. Hey, hey, stay 30.
See that girl? Did you guys see that girl? Look at her. She's like, what is this man doing? I'm gonna laugh kind of awkwardly. That's what she looks like.
What's good?
Give me $1.
Just take out the baby at the end and make it. Give me $1. Everybody just cash in me $1. Can I get a bite?
Oh my god.
We're
That's
Damn,
so
good.
weird.
Officer!
Was this made during COVID? That's illegal.
I don't want to be that guy, but like, I just feel like you're not like really like expressing what this whole festival is about.
Me?
Yeah.
Why you say that?
Because like you got a Glock when you should have a musket.
Right.
So if, like you could just like.
That was a good one, actually. That was a good one. It was good. What if I zoom out? I should have a reward where I zoom out, or a button where I zoom out. We're always zooming in here. No one wants to see this face. Zooming out would be cooler. You know, when I say something like, yo, I'm such a genius sometimes. Excuse me. We have 4 cats and my brothers will take care of them too. Oh, okay. I'm good to choose one cat and take care of it. What's the best name cat?
Like unequip real quick and go in your class setup and get a musket, like.
Get a musket out here?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Has anyone ever said you kind of look like Carson Wentz?
Who?
Carson Wentz.
I don't know who that is.
He's a scrub. Is the baby about to perform? Kirk! Hey, Brody, when did the baby go medieval? Is this like his new album rollout? I'm so nervous. The baby hasn't performed in like 6 months.
That's not the baby. Yeah, you like it? Thank you, Mac. Can we get some applause in here? I put my blood, sweat, and tears. I didn't actually, but I put work into that to make emotes for all the channel points and different colors to show different stuff. Thanks for noticing. Yeah. The oldest is Cusco. The others are Dante, Tom, and Khaleesi. Cusco sounds cool. How long am I going to stream? I always want to go for 2 hours at least for the Saturday streams. But lately it's been going for 3 hours, and 3 hours seems to be pretty good. So probably another 40 minutes or so. New emote. It's gonna be a while. My emote guy takes very long to make emotes, and we only have one space open at the moment. We would need to get 100 subs to have another emote space or another few opened, I think.
What is she saying? Turn
We'll
on
be right back.
subtitles.
Turn on subtitles.
Bro, you can't switch over mid-game. We're Team England over here. Hey, can you guys like be quiet? Thanks, everybody else is like, no one else is yelling. You guys are the only
Robot
people yelling here.
gender.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Don't send that scam to me. That spam to me. Look at her face. Bro, she's like, bruh. She's like, are all black people this loud? Like, you gotta calm down. And then he's like, I know she's judging me right now, but you think I care? You think I care? I'll say what I want, and you'll keep your stupid negative stereotypes to yourself. You know? And then she's like, well, I'm just saying. I'm just joking around. All right, let's watch the video. Thanks for the lurk, Mac. Why you gotta make it about race? Bro, that's what she was thinking. What does this have to do with girlfriend? I just realized. I didn't know I could make those sounds. Kind of cool, actually. I'm just gonna reset the thingy so it shows 0 instead of 5. Such a nice guy. Subscription. We're back at 0. Stupid ass. Jelly beans. What'd you think I was gonna say? Alright, let's keep watching. Take notes, Gideon doesn't make one bad video. Okay. Hey, what are you trying to say, take notes? What video of mine is bad? They're just not popular. Because people don't know good content. No, I don't know why. I actually forgot how close I was. My PB, which I tied a couple times, was the final 4 bosses. 90%. Wow. And they could 2-shot you? Jesus. I see what you mean. Like, it's like so hard. Yeah, it's so hard, just like these guys. Look at that. That's so cool. This is the best, this is one of the coolest sports, okay? If you don't know what it is, check out my best sports tier list. Video.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go, England!
You gotta calm down, bro. Jesus. Bro, but you can't lie. Like, this probably makes it so much more fun for these guys, right? Like, you could see the king is like, people are enjoying this. This is a good one, you know? Like, it's definitely, like, great. You know... Oh, never mind. I just realized that this button doesn't really make sense. Because I have to manually press back. But I already have this button that does both of it for me. Like, sometimes I go, like, in my head. And, I understand things. I'm gonna press play.
Let's go!
You got this. Green! Green! Oh, green died.
Use a stem pack!
Use a stem pack.
I'm sorry. Can you tell England like I'm like his biggest fan? I'm not a group or nothing, but like I would do things to England if you know what I mean. When's Sir Thomas? Sir Thomas!
Thank you, sir.
What does this shirt say? Bisexual?
Thank you, sir.
You changed my life.
I'm glad I have. How so, sir?
Damn, this guy's a freaking Chad over here.
The way you fight out there.
He did cheat upon me, the Spaniard.
Fucking bitch, bro.
Well, my words exactly, but you said it better.
Fuck that nigga.
Well, I don't know that I would say that.
Fuck that nigga.
He's a Spaniard.
You would have won that.
He's a
You
Spaniard.
would have won that. I just knocked up Sir Thomas. I'm never gonna wash this hand, bro.
Bro, this cameraman is like worse than like me with a camera. Jesus, and that's saying something. Like, Jesus Christ, get a better cameraman.
Never gonna wash this hand. Did you guys see Sir Thomas? Yeah, we saw. He fucking Billy rubbed that dude, bro. I never seen anything like it.
I like your shirt.
Oh, for real?
Yes.
It's the newest hottest drip on the market.
Where are you and Jace?
Nah, I'm a porn hubber.
This is
So what
does
happens
it
if
say? I can't. You
hit it,
you
drip on the
suck
market?
with the camera.
Nah, I'm a
Get a
porn
different
hubber.
job.
So what
does it say? Homosexual. Oh, that's kind of cool.
happens if I
When
hit
he's
it?
a Spaniard.
Do I get the king's wife?
It's kind of racist.
Oh.
Unless she says yes.
Oh, she'll definitely say yes. Ugh. Can I get one more?
Oh, come on!
Come on, guys, give me your energy! This is the king's wife!
Oh, you suck! You suck.
When is the brothel open?
He sucks. You know what he sucks on? I mean...
The brothel?
I'm not sure.
I've been working overtime, so I'm trying to throw my coins.
I mean, maybe Kat would know.
Meow! I just gotta go to her. Kat? Hey, I was wondering, when does the brothel open?
He's pretty funny. The cameraman is pissing me off, though. My nuts are itchy. So just itch them. Yeah, Spaniards are cool. I mean, not cool.
I'm not trying to throw my coins.
Trying to make it help.
Yeah.
Why do you ask
Bro,
me
you already know
then?
what's up.
Because I'm dressed like this? Look at you. Why not ask me first?
What?
Nothing.
Oh my god. He has such a beautiful face. It's actually... It's beautiful. His shirt says homosexual. It's not sus. He's the homie. Like that's reality. It's just, he's so beautiful inside and out.
Whoa. I don't think we have Yes Daddy ringtones in the medieval times, if you know what I mean, Kat. That's a big meow meow. Hey. You know, every
I like his
queen
comedy.
is a king.
Like me. He's so funny like me.
You think I can copy your messenger pigeon? If you know what I mean?
Your
she's not a queen.
messenger.
That girl just rejected me. Yeah, I asked for a messenger pigeon and she said no. I'm not a bad looking dude, am I? No. Like, I would say on a scale from like 1 to 10, I'm a solid like 9.5.
I don't know about a 9.5.
Oh, look at her face. She said you're not a 9.5. You're like a 5.9. I feel so bad for him. He's just, look at his face. He's so sad. Things happen. And she's like, I'm too young to say anything on Twitch or YouTube.
Oh, you're right. I'm being generous on myself. I'm a solid 10. I told her like every queen needs a king, but I guess she's not a queen and she doesn't want me, you know?
I'm a ruler of my own kingdom, and I've got princesses.
Oh, so you're playing single player?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. No, I like to play co-op. How much is that helmet right there?
That's all leather.
I want that.
Don't you hate when you ask people a question? You're like, how much is that microphone over here? And they're like, it's made of leather. That's not what I'm asking you how much it cost. I'm not... Bro, I would have gone crazy if I were him, but... Why is he wearing a Texas pendant like it's a cross? Is he? I have to pay attention to that.
Can I try it on? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think I need this. How much VC is it?
He is wearing it like a cross.
What's that?
How much VC
Thank
is
you,
it?
Dino.
Oh, my bad. Pounds.
Pounds?
Yeah, how many pounds?
500.
500. Yeah. I'm gonna just see you at the brothel.
This cameraman is so bad.
Are you ready, kids?
Yes, ma'am.
Or woman.
I can't hear you. Who lives in
Bro, everyone. Look at this. Look at this. We gotta enhance the image. I need a button that enhances. Enhance button. It just goes enhancing imaging, enhancing image, enhancing image. That would be so cool. And it just like zooms in and goes. Oh my god, I have such good ideas sometimes. Oh, it would be perfect for this moment. You know what I mean? Like, look at this. You got to pay real close attention. Okay, as he screams, "I Cap." Oh, look, there's another cool looking guy here. Anyway, if you look very carefully, you're gonna see what she does. You saw her face. She was pretty much like saying like, "Bruh, what the hell is wrong with him screaming?" Okay, they're very racist. This is a very racist town. Okay, I should probably put it back on the normal speed. You need those 10 minutes later bit in SpongeBob narration voice. Ew, I don't want no. Oh, that's a good one too. Yeah, 10 minutes later. That's so good. You see, the more I could add these little bits on stream, the better stream becomes, and the less I have to edit for YouTube. Can I get a replay on that? I was gonna add a replay button, but it was too much work. I might in the future though. No replays for me.
That's a sponge.
Wait, what are you talking about? This guy? The guy that's next to him? He's just a cool looking guy is all I'm saying. Like, it's like, you know, oh, there's...
Bob intro.
I'm gonna stop talking.
You know, we're gonna have fun, right?
That's copyright infringement.
Okay, guess what? My friend, you are gonna be my star pupil the rest of the show. So,
You deserve it.
DeMarcus Cousins III.
What?
DeMarcus Cousins III.
DeMarcus
Cousins.
Yes, the third.
The third.
DeMarcus Cousins the third.
That's me.
Let's all give DeMarcus Cousins the third a round of applause. Come on, everyone. That's all right. Are we all ready to make some noise? Say aye. We be loud. Say aye. Can you hear it, everyone? I've got Marty and Robbie.
All right. I'm losing brain cells. I think that's enough for that one. Sorry. What?
Where's my fucking phone, bro?
I actually feel better watching this now.
There you go, DeMarcus. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Captain.
We have the Captain's Pearl Necklace.
Damn, he's excited. Oh, catch it! He caught it. Look how excited he is. Bro, if he was my son, I'd be so proud of him. Look at how everyone is appreciating him. Look at that. It's so beautiful. Where's that woman from before, though? Yeah, she's gone. She doesn't like him. She's racist. All right, let's continue.
DeMarcus Cousins III, come on up. How much was the bid?
500.
All right, how would you like to pay for that?
I got the balloons.
I have to be careful how I say whip it out.
Bro, I'll do whatever you want.
DeMarcus Cousins III.
Bro, this camera is so annoying.
Negotiate that later.
Meet me at the brothel. I'm down.
Someone really liked that brothel joke.
Why do I have a feeling it's not the first time he said that before? You remember when I told you were going to be the star of my show?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it just happened, DeMarcus Cousins III. Should we give it to him for free? Say hey!
You know what's you know what's kind of messed up? If people around him, like if this woman right here, if she's legit like he's a special person. You know, he deserves it, you know? Like look at him. Like I wouldn't be surprised if people are thinking that, and even the guy that's giving him the thing is thinking that. It's kind of messed up. You could be as happy as him. It's just the energy. You bring the energy from within. It's like something that rises from inside of you. You know, when you see a girl, sometimes that happens, but it could also happen from within your stomach. You rage quit. It was too hard. Nice.
Him for free, say hey! DeMarcus Cousins III, you get it for free. Come on, give him a round of applause, everyone.
That's how you get free stuff.
Come on, are we ready for
You just act very excited.
I got one bill right here. I got DeMarcus Cousins III. You're gonna go one bill, right?
Yes, sir.
I got one bill right there, and you want
Wait. This is too much.
Boys don't got a job yet. You need to step up your game. Hey, man, they're gonna get me, man. Those in my room. I can't take back the love that I gave you.
I don't want you to ever walk away from an
Oh my God! How long are they talking to each other?
interaction with me with less love than you gave me. Because I promised you at the beginning of the show you were going to be my center of attention, right? Well, you left me hanging, didn't you?
I blue balled you?
I didn't say you blue balled me. I said you left me hanging.
I'll never
You
do that
left
again.
my show.
I did.
You were my center of attention. How can I finish without my DeMarco?
He left?
If you don't get caught. So who am I going against?
Why did he leave?
Oh, I gotta dip out.
What happened?
Fourth happens again.
I got 200, I got 210 in back, now I need 220.
Should I go 280? I want 280.
I've got 280 right there. Do you want to go 290? DeMarcus Cousins III. Do you want to do 310? I've got 300 in back. He's going to take it. I'm going to bid once.
No.
I'm going to bid twice.
I want it.
No! DeMarcus Cousins III, I am so very sorry for you. Let's all give DeMarcus a round of
He's not
applause.
sorry.
His bands were bigger than mine. His pockets run longer. He said if you guys buy more merch, I would have been able to get it. Shopto.com.
I feel so bad for him. Yeah, I think it's gonna end kind of soon, maybe. I could never be that energetic. Oh, really? I could be that energetic. He goes to jail and banned for a year. What did he do? My social battery got drained just watching. Yeah, this was this is intense. I can't watch 17 minutes of this in a row, to be honest. I get energy from other people a lot of the times. Watch the video. No, don't tell me how to live my life. I don't want to watch the rest of the video. It's so long. It's 17 minutes of my life. I watched a lot of it. Look, I'll like a comment. I'll even comment. Yo. I'm a YouTuber over at Ping Pong Masters. Also, Twitch.tv. Okay, I did it. I did it. Oh, I think that was the last. That was the last one for today. Santa Claus is here. All right, we're gonna do the last thing before signing off. Okay. For anyone who doesn't know, we've been doing Pokemon Pokédex stuff. Okay. It's pretty intense. It's pretty weird. All right. You guys are about to see how weird it is. Okay. So I hope you are ready. Okay. I really hope you are. I lost one of my buttons. I had a button that was supposed to do something. Where's the button? Oh, I think never mind. I think we're good. Yeah. I have 1 minute to pick a random Pokemon and read at least one entry per generation, or else. Okay. This is the timer. It starts now. Let's spin. Spin faster. 11. We got number 11. I don't think we got 11 before. We got 11. We got 11. We got. It's a stupid Metapod. Okay, what do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Scroll faster. Oh my god, he's like in every freaking game. Okay, red. This Pokemon is vulnerable to attack while its shell is soft, exposing its weak and tender body. In gold, inside the shell, it is soft and weak as it prepares to evolve. It stays motionless in the shell. What? The shell covering this Pokemon's body is as hard as an iron slab. Metapod does not move very much. It stays still because it's preparing its soft innards. What does that mean? For evolution inside the hard shell. Diamond Pearl. Steel hard shell protects its tender body. It quietly endures hardships while awaiting evolution. Oh, the steel hard shell protects it. It's the same thing. It quietly endures hardships while awaiting evolution. A steel hard shell protects its tender body. It quietly endures hardships while awaiting evolution. Its shell is filled with hardens its shell to protect itself. However, a large impact may cause it to pop out of its shell. Even though it is encased in a sturdy shell, the body inside is tender. No! I was so close. I was so freaking close. Are you kidding me?
Failed. You are a loser. You are a loser.
my sight. How could you have failed? How could you have failed?
I pressed it like 3 times by accident. Damn it! I had like 1 more left. That's stupid. I had 1 more left. Oh my god. Yeah, so the thing is, I had a thing set up. So I had a thing set up here. So guys, I'm actually brilliant. Basically, it turns off all rewards that can screw this up for 1.5 minutes, and then it turns it on after 1.5 minutes. So you wouldn't even been able to redeem COD in 4K. Unless I forgot to add COD in 4K as one of the rewards, which... I added one last thing. So I'm about to end stream and you're ruined. Well, you didn't ruin it, it's fine. Look what I added.
Guys, I'm about to end stream. You're wasting it. You're wasting these buttons. And now I'm almost an angry monkey. But I'm not. I'm sad. You guys make me sad. Just disrespecting monkeys the way you guys do. Bing bong. Bing bong you. No, don't go to sleep yet.
Don't go to sleep. You have to see this.
Bruh.
You gotta... Do you see it? There are credits. I added credits. Isn't that cool? Before stream ends. Even though you could barely see them probably. I added... It's probably not smart to put this on a blue background. Yeah, I should probably fix that for next stream. I'm so stupid. Well, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see y'all Monday. I hope you have an amazing rest of the weekend. Goodbye.